Okay, let's say that you're going to cook some hamburgers because Father's Day is around the corner. You're going to cook some hamburgers, right? Imagine if you have the air conditioning on in your house and you leave those hamburgers in the house, and your house is like 30 degrees. You could leave those hamburgers on the counter for like hours, right? But if you were to turn the heat on in your house to 100 degrees, like you want it to be really hot, let's just say, right? You want to create a sauna in your house. Those hamburgers would start to rot after 2 hours, right? They would start to break down. Bacteria would grow. You probably would not want to eat them. So the heat there is the catalyst. That's what iron is doing in the pathophysiology of your vessels and the inflammation and the oxidative stress that it creates. It's just a catalyst. So if you have the hormonal metabolic environment, the nutritional environment with a lot of low density lipoproteins that are highly oxidizable because you're eating omega-6 oils in your diet, and you have high iron, right? Because you have iron overload, insulin resistance, and the sort, you're catalyzing the formation of oxidized LDL in your vessels and causing more free radical damage in the body. Okay, so iron is just the catalyst. It's not inherently bad or good. You need iron to transport oxygen in your hemoglobin, right? This is part of how you deliver oxygen to your tissues is iron. So it's not inherently bad. It's when we have supraphysiologic levels of this. We're going to dive into that. So this paper does a great job. So what is iron? Iron is basically just a mineral. These minerals are catalysts, right? It's a redox metal, and it's the main component of hemoglobin that is essential for oxygen transport. Okay, and how it increases, as I mentioned earlier, is the breakdown of red blood cells. Okay, specifically the senescent erythrocytes. So we've talked about how cells, when they get to the end of their lifespan, they undergo cellular senescence, they apoptose and die. The challenge here is the accumulation of senescent cells, for example, within the brain, within the liver, within the heart, that release that senescence-associated secretory phenotype that accelerate aging. So again, this is a beautiful aspect of senescence here with regards to how iron is increased, is this apoptosis and death of these cells, of the red blood cells. The nutritional metabolic environment influences that process. The more insulin resistant you are, that process is augmented, is accelerated. Here's, I think, just a great visual. Here's your blood vessel lumen, and what you're seeing here is the development of atherosclerosis. So this figure really conveys the story. And what you see here is free iron is accelerating the process of the oxidation of the LDL, which is causing the occlusion or the narrowing of the vessel. So when people talk about oxidized LDL, what may be causing that? What's the driver behind that? Excessive iron could be a driver. And so you add in, the fact that people are eating a lot of fried foods, the canola oil, the sunflower oil, the cottonseed and soy and whatnot. Their lipoproteins are much more oxidizable. There's some insulin resistance going on, so there's a lot more small, dense LDLs floating around. And then you have iron overload. You have this recipe for developing heart disease.
DoctorsToTrust.com, the world's #1 site for short, annotated nutrition videos.